Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about 4 recent horror movies that I've just watched for the first time. So this is going to be kind of like a mixed bag of mini reviews. I think that this is going to be a good format for videos for me in the future because, as I said in my intro video, I do live in a small place and we have a small theater with only 5 screens. I can think of maybe one time ever I remember seeing 2 horror movies in there at the same time. So there are just going to be a lot of different times that we end up skipping over some of the smaller releases, and that's definitely what's going on right now. For instance, we have had The Conjuring Last Rites in our cinema the entire time that it's been out, and we have skipped over him and The Strangers Chapter 2. And we could, in theory, get those, next week or the week after, but it's not super common to get them late. But, I mean, they might. So if they do, then I will definitely review those for you. But I think more often than not, this is going to happen. And so I can do just a short video talking about some of those releases that I ended up missing in theaters because they didn't come to a theater near me. So the first one that I want to talk about is The Strangers Chapter 1. And I did watch this in preparation for The Strangers Chapter 2 coming out in case we did end up getting it, just so I would be able to talk to you guys about it. I kind of skipped over this one for a couple reasons. First off, I was pregnant during the time that one came out, and my mom had told me about the fact that when she was pregnant with me, she kind of had an issue watching horror at that time. And she loves horror for sure, so it was weird that she couldn't watch it with me while she was pregnant, and I didn't know if that was something that I was going to have an issue with as well, so I did kind of avoid horror at that time. But the other reason I didn't watch this would be because it just has not really gotten any good reviews that I've seen anyway. But I will say that this one is pretty unnecessary. I understand why they remade it if they wanted to go this trilogy route, because I think that it would be very weird to try to make a trilogy and just pick up where the original left off and, be doing the second and third movie so many years later after that. So it does make sense in that regard, but it was just so similar to the original, and they just didn't really do anything different or unique in this one. I think it would have gone over a little better if there was a little bit of originality to it. But I don't think that it is by any means horrible. I don't know that it really warrants the hate that it does get. So I would say, though, I can't see myself really rewatching this one unless we do get something good out of Chapter 2 or Chapter 3, to the point where I feel like I need to rewatch all of them. I would probably just pick the original if I did want to watch something with that format. So the next one that I want to talk about, and all of the ones going forward, will be 2025 horror movies, and this one is The Monkey. So I didn't know a whole lot about this going forward. I had not read the story that this is based on. I do have the book that it is a part of, though, so I could at some point. But I did know that it was directed by Osgood Perkins, and that it's kind of like a little bit different of a movie compared to what he usually does. I had heard that Rowan Campbell was going to be in it, and I really did like him in Halloween Ends, so I was looking forward to it because of that. And I had also heard that the deaths were pretty crazy in this one, and they did not disappoint with that. I am not a gore hound by any means, but I thought that the gore in here was pretty good, and if you really do like that in your horror movie, then you're probably going to like this one. I think that Theo James did a really good job getting to play twins in here, and they are very different twins, so that was kind of interesting for him to get to be both sides of that. And I do think Rowan did a good job with what he had. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of him, but I know that he is going to be in Silent Night, Deadly Night, that'll be coming out hopefully soon, and we'll get more of him in that. But I did enjoy this. It was kind of strange. The one thing I actually really loved about this was the music in there. I think that they had some really cool song choices. I know I've talked before about how I love the 80s music and I love emo music, but I also really love oldies, like 40s, 50s music. And that's like my happy music. If I'm listening to something like that, I'm definitely in a good mood. So I was excited to have some classic songs like that in this movie. The next one that I want to talk about is Together. So I'll be the first to tell you, body horror is just not my thing, but it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna still check out the body horror movies that are coming out when I get a chance to. And I also really wanted to check this one out since it has Dave Franco and Alison Brie, and they are a real life couple. So I thought that that would be pretty interesting to see them play off of each other. And I do think that they both did a really good job in this. The body horror in here is very creepy and disturbing. I don't think that this is a spoiler or anything, but the part where their eyeballs are so close to each other, which that was used as a poster, that I could do without seeing that ever again. Like seeing their eyelashes interlocking, that's just a no from me. I don't like anything to do with eyeballs, eyeball gore. I hate seeing that stuff, and they use it so much in horror because I think that I'm definitely not the only person that gets unnerved by it, so they know that they can get reactions out of people when they do stuff like that. But there are a lot of other pretty creepy things with the body horror besides that. I will say there is part in this movie that makes me want to be abstinent. I'll leave it at that though. But I did like the story that we got out of this and like the underlying meaning behind everything and how the characters feel about each other and being around each other. I thought that was the best part of this movie, really. But it's not one that I could see myself rewatching a lot, just since I am not a fan of body horror overall. So the last one that I want to talk about is I Know What You Did Last Summer. One horror movie that I did watch while I was pregnant on the 4th of July was I Know What You Did Last Summer, the original. And I felt like I still had that fresh in my mind when I went to watch this one the other day. And I do kind of wish I would have watched the second movie in preparation for this as well, but I don't think that it was vital to have seen that as recently. However, you definitely need to watch the first two at least once before you see this, if you have not seen them before, because it is so important. I do usually try to rewatch the movies that come before it if it's a legacy sequel like this. And honestly, this might be the best legacy sequel that we have gotten in recent years. I don't know if it's just because I literally did just watch it and it's just so stuck in my mind, but I definitely think that it is on the higher end of like the better legacy sequels that I've seen, because they can really go either way. They can take the legacy characters and do something good with them, use them well, do something out of the ordinary, or they can just bring them in and either underutilize them or just do a horrible job. And yeah, we've definitely seen both sides of that in the legacy sequels in horror that we've gotten within the last 5 years or so. But this one is absolutely a good movie to watch. I liked the interactions that our legacy characters got to have with each other and the interactions between them and the new cast. I really liked the new cast. I thought that they did a good job. I think that Madeline Klein was the standout here for sure. I really liked her in Outer Banks, and I just kind of assumed she was going to do a really good job here. She had a lot of really funny lines, and she was charismatic, so I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked her, as well as all of the other ones that were the new cast. And there were some interesting gory scenes in here as well. Not to the level that the other ones have been on this list, but they were good. And I think that if you don't take anything else from this video, please take that you should absolutely watch I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025, because it was just so good. I really can't say enough good about it, and I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to get any spoiler stuff in here for you. But let me know down in the comments if you have watched any of these movies and what you thought of them. Just try to keep the spoilers to a minimum and announce them before you are gonna put any spoilers in there. But I really wanted to say thank you all for the support that you've been giving me lately. I had a lot more views on my last video, and I just seem to be reaching a lot more people. And it's been awesome because I've gotten more comments and more subscriptions. I've gotten people that have reached out to me on Instagram, and I've been having some conversations, and it's just been so much fun. That is really what I wanted out of this channel, and to be getting that so quickly is really awesome. It's just been an outpouring of so much positivity, and that really makes me want to bring more content to you and get it done more quickly. So thank you all for that. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it. Consider subscribing if you haven't yet for more horror content. I have had my subscriber rate going up a little bit, but I have way more viewers than I do subscribers. So if you are watching my videos and you haven't subscribed yet, you really should, because I have a lot more fun content planned going forward. My name is Devin. This is Carpenter Hill. Thanks for watching.